This podcast is a production of the Brickyard Network. To find out more about our lineup of ceramic podcasts, visit brickyardnetwork.org.
This episode is sponsored by Monkey Stuff. Monkey Stuff makes things for makers. We're inspired every day by the craft and creativity of makers, and design and manufacture tools and accessories to try to make your making life a bit more delightful. Our products are designed in California, by makers and for makers, and manufactured in the USA. Check out our line of pottery accessories and tools at monkeystuff.com. Follow us on Instagram to see what we're up to in our studios, and keep on making great things.
This episode is brought to you by Cornell Studio Supply, located in the Gem City of Dayton, Ohio. Find all your pottery and ceramic sculpture equipment and supplies with the best customer service and world-class workshops. Join us January 16th through the 18th, 2026 for a colored clay and material inclusion workshop with Chris Alvashir and Jillian Park. Visit CornellStudioSupply.com to sign up. Cornell Studio Supply, owned and operated for potters by potters.
Hello, my name is Kathy King, and welcome to the For Flux Sake podcast. I'm coming to you from the Harvard Ceramics program in our fair city, Allston, Massachusetts. I'm here with Rose and Matt Katz of the world-famous Ceramic Materials Workshop, and they are ready to answer your burning questions about clay and glaze. Are you a fan of mystery podcasts? Well, boy, have you landed in the right place today. On this special episode of For Flux Sake, we ask, where the hell did Matt go? Did he leave us for a country that only refers to temperature in Celsius? Did he leave ceramics behind and has now dedicated his life to the art of mime? Did he finally run out of hot air? Who knows, but we must soldier on. What I do know is that today we have the effervescent Rose Katz with us and our beloved producer, Ben Carter. Hello, Rose and Ben.
Hi, Kathy.
Hey, Kathy.
I like to think Matt ran out of hot air. I mean, I'm not sure if that would happen, but...
But it does seem plausible.
Yeah, it does. It could be plausible, definitely.
Would it have happened over time?
Cold here.
It does. Like that balloon that's running out of helium and it's just kind of floating midway through the room. Well, come on, Rose. What'd you do with your husband?
Oh, he's traveling, of course. He is off to the other side of the world to enjoy the Aussies and people in Bali and teach them all about glazes and clay bodies. So, yeah.
Wow. He never takes us anywhere fun.
I know.
You get to go sometimes.
Yeah, I don't get to go this time because kids are in school.
Season. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Ben and I just got back from exotic Tennessee in the States.
It was very exotic. I felt like I was in a foreign country at times.
Well, true. You describe to the viewers or the listeners where we were exactly.
So we went to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and I'm only joking because I'm actually from the Appalachian Mountains. So every time I go to Aramont, I hear that accent and I feel so at home. And I eat that food, that fried food from the wonderful Aramont cafeteria, and I really feel good. But this is a quadrennial. What is the word for
every 4 years? Have no idea.
Yeah, it happens every 4 years, and it is like the best group of dorky potters getting together ever.
The Utilitarian Clay Conference, and they have one that is all about potters, and then another one that they're going to start doing again, which is all about figurative sculpture. And you get to go through a lottery, and if you're lucky enough, you get to spend days there. There's like 8 different artists demonstrating at the same time, so I just kept like running laps to see everybody's demonstrations. And then I hosted 2 panels, and Ben, you hosted one panel, right?
I did.
Or
Yep. I talked with
interview.
Bill Griffith. Yep.
It was just so fantastic. But what's funny about it is the Airmont School of Crafts is so beautiful, and it is smack dab in the middle of the Smoky Mountains. But around its immediate area is Gatlinburg, Tennessee. And those of you out there who love Dolly Parton, that is where Dollyland is. Dolly Worlds, rather. Sorry, Dolly World. God. Oh.
Did you
And
go?
I've been,
Fabulous.
but it is really wild. It's like some people call it the Las Vegas of the South. It's the second most popular place to elope.
Oh,
I don't know why, but there are hillbilly chapels where you can get married with a guy with a corncob pipe and some overalls and no shirt underneath. Don't know why.
nice.
Yeah.
That's going to be my retirement job. I'm going to move down there, start marrying people.
Nice. You're gonna move back home, join the family business.
Oh my goodness, it is wild, but that was a great time. You do when you're on campus, you totally forget about everything that's happening outside of that space. But anywho, well, glad to be here with you two. So let's get to our questions, shall we?
Yes.
Now, these are going to be a lot of reading out loud. We didn't get as many audio ones, but Kira from Easton, Pennsylvania asks, as a newbie in the studio, I would love to hear your do's and don'ts of working in a community space with others. I really want to avoid being that person. Oh, and do I know that person? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Can you pick them out like the first few days of class?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it takes a week or two. Now, Ben runs a community studio as well. So, Ben, what would you say? Who's that person?
Yeah, that person for me, there's a group of them. They travel in groups. And
They do.
and that person is usually just someone that's not thinking about the bigger picture. So, in order to be a good studio member, I think you have to think about it like you're a member of a team. So, if you mess everyone else up on the team, ultimately the team doesn't win. Even though you might get your pot fired faster, it doesn't mean in the end that everyone won. So, you want to have a community studio where everyone feels good at the end of the day.
It's really true. It's really true. I was thinking about this question earlier, and one of the, no one's going to like this answer, but one of the things I would recommend is whatever community studio you're in, to actually take the time to read the guidelines or the studio policies, because I think that gives you a leg up about what Ben's talking about. And, when you read those for the first time, if you're new to a space, it's not going to make sense. You're going to have a lot of questions, but to just go over those and note any questions that you might have, believe me, when someone comes into the office and has some questions because they want to understand and know the studio better, I have all the time in the world to talk to that person. It's really important. And then the other one I can think of is to just in being a good community member, just do a little bit more. So, sometimes people, when they're first starting to throw and they've been taught how to clean the wheels and the carts and the stools that they've used, they don't always get it right. And it takes a little while. And so I think just reaching out kindly to somebody like, can I help you with this? I found this works better if you actually use a sponge with water to clean your wheel rather than your
Read
hand.
those guidelines.
Yeah. But, there are just so many different aspects of a ceramic studio, very different than a lot of other art mediums. And, from the making to the recycling of the clay to the firings to all the surface stuff we have to learn, it is a lot. So just asking multiple questions to staff is my recommendation.
Yeah, for me, thinking about when I was at a community studio ever so long ago was, don't touch other people's work. That's a big
Mm-hmm.
no-no unless, you're engaging with that person. And if you have questions, go to the right person. Don't ask your person on the wheel next to you. If you have a question, ask your instructor or the assistant that's helping in class. And yeah, that just be open to new experiences. Sometimes those rules are going to seem really restricting, but be open to a new experience.
Yeah, and you just made me think like one of the biggest problems in our studio is shelf space because like we're in week 3 right now and everybody is just pumping stuff out. And when you have your work and maybe it's on a wear board, it can take up a lot of space on the shelf. But what kills me is like the one little piece in the middle of this giant bat like bone dry sitting on the shelf. Now, that is maybe when you can touch someone else's work, but I leave it to my staff to be able to make do with those situations. But we've tried different things about how to keep your work safe. And so we've done, because everyone's putting plastic over their work. It makes it very hard to, when you come back days later, where are my bowls? And we've used like blue painter's tape and said, put your name on it so that no one will bother it. But one of that makes it tough later to get the tape off of the plastic we found. Duh. What one of my staff started is to take a clothespin and write your name on the clothespin and use that to kind of, when you're twisting up that plastic or you just find a way to clip that on and an easy way to identify your piece.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and actually, before we go farther, we have to back up and acknowledge that Kira is our friend and coincidentally
It
also
is.
your sister.
Yes,
Mhm,
yes,
mhm.
she is. And I'm very proud of her to take a 10-week ceramic course. So
Aw.
this is a big step for her. She was the art historian and in school, and she's taking up doing ceramics, doing sculpture, and yeah, it's really good for her. So yeah.
That's awesome. And that's good for us too to kind of check in with her and hear her perspective of how it's going.
Yeah, it's been really great so far. And she and her instructor happens to be one of our former employees from Pennsylvania who
Oh.
taught him, and it's like a small world. So she had to say who she was, and he's like, "Oh my goodness, this is amazing." It's like small world in Easton, PA.
I love it. I love it. Keeping it in the family. So let us move forward. And our next question is coming from Emily from a place unknown. And Emily wrote in and said, I've got a glaze mystery. After using my finished piece for water, it turned a darker color. My professor was stumped, so I figured I'd ask you. Any ideas? Well, Emily did not give us a whole lot to go on.
No, but I think I know what it
You
is.
do? Because
I
I'm stumped.
do.
All right. All right.
Well, she gave it away.
Why?
She has a finished piece. She was using it for water and it turned darker. So that water, when it's absorbed into clay, can change the color of your clay. And it depends on the color of your clay. Sometimes it will look darker or just change slightly. Like if you have like a beige color, it could go slightly browner or slightly whiter. But yeah, it's from your clay is absorbing that water.
So, because she's talking about that, this is a glaze mystery. So you're saying that because the
It's
clay body,
not.
it's not. Oh, okay. So it's actually the clay underneath the glaze.
It's the clay underneath absorbing water.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah. So try to get that clay a little more vitrified. You won't have that mystery anymore.
Jinkies, that's wild. I'd never
Yeah.
knew. I love finding stuff that I don't know. It happens all the time. I don't know why I should be so thrilled about this. Today's episode is brought to you by the Rosenfield Collection of Functional Ceramic Art. The collection exists as an online source for research and inspiration, featuring photos of thousands of objects made by over 800 artists. The images are high quality and can be used with no permission required. To find out more, visit www.rosenfieldcollection.com.
Glazes don't make sense, but that's why Rose and I are here at ceramicmaterialsworkshop.com, helping translate glazes for real ceramicists like you. So join us for our brand new class starting October 1st. It's for everyone from beginners to masters. We clear up all the mysteries of glazes to make them work for you. Join us at ceramicmaterialsworkshop.com for making glazes make sense.
Anywho, all right. So we're knocking them off left and right.
See
people.
what happens when Matt's
I know.
It's great.
Exactly. We're gonna get and now question 15. Okay. We're so efficient without Matt. All right. So our next question comes from Mike from Jasper, Alberta, Canada. And Jasper asks, what are your thoughts about using roofing felt or tar paper in the studio for plates, etc.? Are there any health concerns to be aware of? Ben, do you use?
We do. I think health concerns, it's interesting. It does smell real bad. So
It does.
Well, isn't it? It's creosote, isn't it?
Mhm.
It's tar.
yeah.
It's flammable.
Yeah, that's true. The health concern is don't burn your studio down.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think the concern, the long-term exposure, I've not read about to tar. This is something that Matt would have some obscure study from 1978 that he would be like, oh, I know the answer. So do you know, Rose?
The only thing I could think of is tar exposure, and that tar is a petroleum byproduct. So I mean, they use it on roofs and houses and building materials all over the place. So I don't think it's highly flammable, but there is a chance that it's flammable because it's a petroleum product. Doesn't it usually have sand or something on it? I thought tar paper had a texture to it.
It does. It's like a little rough. Yeah. It's got a very particular texture to it.
And that texture does help actually create a very thin coat of clay. And over time, that clay dust makes it so that it doesn't smell as bad. But then also, as you're moving it around, you're releasing that dust up into the air just a little bit. So I'm wondering if its coating of texture is a positive thing, but also you might just need to be mindful when you're using these templates, how much dust you're creating.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we use a cup shaped template for student events, whatnot, and because everyone can have one and build something really quick, and those get really dirty, but we wash them after every session. But we had an amazing potter in last weekend, Jen Allen, and she was using a lot of craft foam, and I know that's not any more kind to the Mother Earth here, but it seemed to kind of do the same job and seemed a lot easier to clean than the tar paper.
Interesting. Is it not like the upholstery foam where it's big and puffy? It's
No.
thinner,
Like the real thin sheet. Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
Yeah, she used it to, like I've always smooth edges of, say, like you've made a spout shape and put plastic over it and gone over the edges to smooth it. And instead, she would use just the craft foam over it, and also use it for templates. And I thought, like, oh, that's a lot better because there was one point where my instructors and TAs in this one classroom kept telling me that there was a dead animal in the room, and I could not find it. I got pest control to come by. I'm like, they're in the walls. They're in the walls. And then it turned out behind the door was a brand new roll of tar paper. And so I think like every time the door opened or closed, it gave like a big old whoosh of
whiff
gross.
of petroleum. Ooh, here you go.
And actually, another building supply thing that we've used a lot is Tyvek, which is also the thing that it's a waterproofing.
Oh, yeah, like a house wrap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's essentially plastic paper. And if you cut that into your shape, it makes great templates. Also, practically, if you have a pile of 20 templates, a pile of Tyvek templates is like a quarter of an inch, and a pile of tar paper templates is like an inch. So when you stack these things up, the Tyvek is a lot better. You can also get it for free if you don't want to buy it at Lowe's. You can get it for free at USPS. Any post office will have it. It's the express mailer. And so just act like you're going to do a lot of mailing, go in there with a smile, and grab a big old stack of
That's
this.
morally questionable, Ben. I'm surprised you came up with this.
Or, I mean, you could just wander building sites and pick it up from the tree line because it's blown around everywhere. I mean,
well, there were a number of artists. I can't think of, exactly one person that was using Tyvek for templates at this conference, and I was unaware that you can buy it like a pack of paper. Like you get a thing of copy paper, you can get Tyvek paper so that you can run it through your Cricut or you can run it through a printer. Yeah, and I hadn't heard about that. So somebody was just running it through a Cricut and making all their templates that way. So that sounded pretty cool. So I guess I'm kind of feeling like the anti-tar paper resistance club now that we've thought of all
there's
these other
new
things.
alternatives. How's that?
Yes,
there's alternatives.
We'll take it that way. All right. All right. I think we've got one more in us. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
So this next question comes through Mame Conklin, and not sure where Mame is from, but I love your name. Odd question. I received a spinner, and we're going to assume that that's a wheel, and 5 pounds of clay for my birthday. Where does a newbie start, especially if one does not have a kiln? I want to talk to you, Mame, about your friends and family around you and picking out
who
presents
just buys
for you.
Who buys them a wheel and some clay? I want that family member.
Oh my God. Well, that's like the other ceramic studios. I'm not going to mention any names, but like they try and lure you in, like with your registration, you get 10 pounds of clay. It's like, well, what do you... And then what am I doing in the second half hour? It's like, that's not enough. Oh my goodness. So, poor thing.
She's going to have a fun time with those 5 pounds on her new spinner. I mean, that takes a lot of skill to use a wheel right off the bat. So I hope you have some experience, and, start making small pieces that you can transport to a community kiln is my advice. 5 pounds will go fast.
And also think about this like a gym membership, like someone gave you an at-home weight set. So I encourage you to reuse the clay. So what I want you to do, I think it was a 10-pound block. So cut it into 1-pound blocks. Because also if you have a small tabletop wheel, the horsepower on those is very low. So if you do a 1-pound increment and just try to throw a cylinder, go to YouTube University and look up a video of someone throwing if you need instruction, or you can look up Clayflix, which is...
Oh, I don't know that one.
Yeah, it's Ceramics Monthly or what is Ceramics Monthly's parent company?
ACAN?
Yeah. It's American Ceramic Society. They have a whole video platform that has hundreds and hundreds of videos of people throwing and doing different things. And you can actually subscribe to that like you subscribe to Netflix. And once you watch those videos, just try to throw 10 cups that are of a similar size. And when you get to the end, squash 9 of them and then do it again, trying to make the other 9 look like the 10th one that you really liked. And think about it like a gym, like someone gave you weights and you're just like building muscle memory and sort of your clay fitness by repeating this process over and over again.
When I was teaching full time, the first wheel project was to throw 8 8-inch cylinders that matched. And one of them, I would have the student cut right down the middle to show the how thin and even the walls are. And that was a really challenging project, somewhat similar. But then I found that someone in class had paid another student to make their cylinders. And I was like, oh my goodness gracious. If you have to cheat at ceramics, that is the saddest thing I can think of. My goodness.
I should have thought of that when I was in Alfred.
I know, right?
Yeah, I could I'll throw your pieces. Yeah, sure.
Exactly. Make some money off the side.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I'll add to Ben's great advice is, and this has come up in our studio because we're in week 3 of our 14-week session and everybody's just throwing. We're finding in our slurry buckets like giant balls of perfectly good clay that people are not re-wedging. And sometimes when you're throwing a lot and learning, you've got like all this gush. So we take plaster and just pour plaster into a baking pan, like a 8x8 baking pan, and then use that to put on your near you. And you can put your slush or your slurry or your gush on that. And then as you're practicing, that'll dry out a bit. And when you're ready to clean up and leave for the day, you go grab some good clay and slice that up. And between those slices, add the gush and then re-wedge the whole thing. And it'll just help the gush become a little bit more wedgeable, and you're going to be able to throw it again easier.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I used to keep a plaster bat on my wheel when I was doing production work. A plaster bat on the side so I could take it, like instead of scraping off my hands onto the bucket, I'd do it onto the plaster, and then I'd have clay to use the next day that I don't have to really process too hard. So it was pretty useful.
Yeah, we called that method that I described flop the slop. And then there's also
Nice.
There's also the method of happy little rainbows, where if you have more clay, you can squeeze it into a rainbow shape on your plaster and get some more air around it. So happy little rainbows is another tried and true
good
method.
Names for these things. I've like, oh, you just take it and do this. Like they never had a name for it. Oh my gosh. I need to come to your studio, Kathy.
Oh, our amazing staff person, Jenny, who designs our t-shirts and such, she designed mascots for us.
Love it.
It's good stuff. You need more mascots in this world.
I feel like those rainbows should come sprinkled with like glitter / sugar. And that they're like somehow smell like vanilla, maybe.
Not moldy clay.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. I'm sure somebody is selling that right now, Ben, for ceramics.
Actually, I had a glitter mystery this summer in our studio. That's why I was thinking of your happy little rainbows. This took me months to figure out. There kept being a lot of glitter, not like casual glitter, like a lot of glitter on our wedging tables. And I thought that someone was trying to wedge glitter into their clay, which, by the way, don't do that because glitter is plastic and it's going to smell real bad when you fire it. But I couldn't figure it out. We looked at we have cameras in the studio. We looked at the cameras. We like tried to figure it out. Turns out a group of teen girls, all between the ages of 13 and 15, came to our studio over and over again, and they had so much glitter on their backpack when they put the backpack on the wedging table, the residual glitter that came off of it made a little pile.
Whoa. They're leaving a trail of glitter wherever they
Yes.
go. I guess there could be worse things.
Yeah, I mean, there could be, certainly.
We were also watching demonstrating artist, the amazing Didum, or is it?
Didum.
Yeah, Didum Mert. Absolute joy to be around. And they wedge in little bits of clay that has been colored with stains and then, safely ground down so that these are little flecks that they're able to wedge into their clay. And someone in the audience did say that someone was selling clay glitter. And I didn't catch where it was from, but nothing surprises me anymore.
Yes, I've seen colored grog where,
Okay,
and
maybe
it's
that's
like,
it.
maybe that's it. And it's like you can get different colors together, like rainbow and like, but individual colors. Yeah, I saw that in Sika last year. I was like, oh, okay.
Well,
This is fabulous. We can all talk. Do you realize this? We all had a conversation without Matt going off on a tangent. Then we were actually able to answer 4 questions, everybody. 4 questions. This is like a record. What season are we in? What episode is this?
I feel so strange, though.
It is. It's very strange. I mean, he is our, he's our good, I don't want to say punching bag, but he's good fun to poke at. I mean, come on. He's like our little encyclopedia.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Rose. That's crazy.
Oh, no, it's okay. It's just me. But I'm allowed to pick on him. I'm his wife.
That is true.
Well, this is a good time, though, to plug that if people want to send us more audio questions, we would love that. And Kathy says it at the end of every outro, so you might start to be immune to that. But I want you to send us high quality video or audio questions because I can actually take out the audio from your video. So if you want to do a little voice memo, that's the best way to get us that information. And we're still basically trying to stump Matt and Rose, and Kathy and I really enjoy it when we do. So
we sure do, Ben. And we have to make sure, I think, as Matt said in another episode, that now that we're independent, we don't want to have to sell deodorant and mattresses on the show. We want you to keep us ceramic-y, so please visit our Patreon.
Yes.
And until next time, Ben and Rose.
Bye, Kathy. Bye, Ben.
See ya.
Well, folks, that's it for this week's episode of For Flux Sake. I'd like to thank the listeners who submitted questions this week. And if you want your question answered on the show, shoot us an email at ForFluxSakePodcast@gmail.com. So join us next time. And when in your studio, remember what Rose always says.
Always remember to test, test, test. This is a test of the emergency glaze system. Beep. Hey, For Flux Sake friends. Wish you could hang with us a little more each month? Well, you can come join us at our For Flux Sake fan club on Patreon. You'll get discounts on our new merch, chances to chat with us during live hangouts, and extra episodes just for you. Find us at patreon.com/ForFluxSakePodcast. We'd love to see you there.